If you have a little that's in that toddler stage, you already know that the 12 to 36 month age range is not an easy period. There's a lot of bumps and bruises and tantrums and cuteness and mess, and the list goes on. But what I wanted to do is give you 5 tips regarding your toddler that could give you a small bit of help as a new parent. As always, new dads, expectant dads, you can join our private Discord server, which is linked down below, to chat with me or other guys in our dad community. We've got courses up through year 1 of fatherhood. So if you're interested, go ahead and check that out. So tip number 1, give your toddler smaller portions. I honestly never knew how much I should be giving my kid exactly. And I kind of just put a random amount of food on there and expected it to be eaten. Now that expectation, paired with being raised by a Latin mom and an Asian dad, where culturally you kind of always just ate what's in front of you, it did not set me up for success. The reality is portion sizes are a lot smaller than you might think. Now, one rule of thumb by the AAP is to aim for 40 calories for every inch of height. Another one that I've seen from my friends over at Feeding Littles is to think of one serving as being equal to 1 tablespoon per year of age. And you should be aiming for 2 to 3 servings of fruits per day and 2 to 3 servings of veggies per day. I think that that's what Feeding Littles instructed, but I mean, if you are hearing something else, if I need to be corrected, please chime in down below. That's I think what I remember from the course over at Feeding Littles. Now, if your kid is a big eater, that is awesome. Keep at it. Feeding might not be as much of a struggle as it was for us. But if your toddler isn't eating nearly up to your expectations, consider calibrating how much you're serving them. Instead of plates that look like this, try plates that look like this instead. It might look odd to put a couple of blueberries and a single piece of broccoli on a plate, but smaller portion sizes are much less intimidating and much more likely to be eaten. If they want more, they're gonna ask for more. And if they touch 0 on that plate, well, guess what? You're wasting less food, so good for you. Regardless, if they eat a lot or little though, the main goal for your kid though isn't to be aiming for like numbers and serving sizes and the things that I just mentioned. The main goal is to just try to get your kid or teach them to listen to their bodies.
Part of what we teach is trusting your child, trusting that they know how much to eat, letting them listen to those internal cues of, whoa, I'm hungry for this, I'm full, this feels good, this doesn't feel good. It's really key for us to allow that, because we're trying to teach them to listen to what their body's saying, which translates to so much more than feeding. It's really a skill that they're gonna need for life and they're gonna need as they get older. And if they become acutely aware of what's happening in their body, it's such a powerful skill for eating and for body autonomy as older kids and adults. And Judy says like they're pushing back for a reason. They're trying to learn autonomy, and we need to give them that autonomy to know what feels good on their bodies.
Now, if feeding is a struggle, I would encourage you to go check out Feeding Littles. And if you want, you can get $10 off of any of their courses using the code DADVERB. This isn't like a sponsor or anything like that. They just taught me a lot. I really like Feeding Littles. They're really cool. Tip number 2, love conquers anger. Toddlers think differently than us. They are much more emotional rather than logical. So when they throw a bunch of tantrums, it's frustrating for me because I come at it from the perspective of like, no duh, you're mad. Like XYZ happened and that led to this and now you're mad. Like, isn't that obvious? And for them, it's not that obvious. But over time, I learned that when my kids get frustrated or heated, me coming in angrier than them and solving the issue actually doesn't really solve anything. Sometimes in the short term it does. If I turn on that mad dad vibe or I raise my voice, they'll stop and they'll do what I say, but they're doing it out of fear, right? And that's not what we want. That's not how we want to teach. Instead, the best outcomes were when I actually came into a situation calm and I didn't try to diffuse the situation or give any sort of direction. And I'll give you an example. A couple days ago, I had a toddler who's upstairs. He's playing with Legos that weren't age appropriate. He should have been playing with the Duplos. Instead, he wanted to play with the smaller big boy Legos. And inevitably, he got super frustrated when one wouldn't snap onto the other, and it was really just angering him. And I can hear him upstairs going like, "Mom, come here, I need you now." And he was like super mad. And that kind of teased me off whenever my kids talk bad to their mom, my wife, my best friend. That's when I'm just like, hey, no, that we have to bring it down now, right? And I was gonna storm up there and just get do the mad dad thing and just stop it all. But as I'm going up the stairs, it kind of just like hit me. I was just like, what if I just do something a little bit different? And I did 3 things, and I'm gonna walk you through them because it actually worked. The first thing that I did when I walked up to him was I took a knee. All right, I took a knee as if someone got hurt on a football field. You take a knee and you just drop down, right? I got on his level. It helps to get on your toddler's level as opposed to standing up tall and barking orders down like a dictator, right? Because in their brain, they actually start to get defensive and a little bit heated, right? And it puts them in a very defensive mindset. Whereas when you get on their level, that act alone starts to calm them down just a little bit and gets them into a place where you want to get them. The second thing that I did was I opened my arms. It's really easy, for me to have come home from work after a hard day and just come at it like, what? Give him this face, kind of like again, like what now? That kind of a face. Instead of giving him any of that, I just opened my arms and I gave him one of these. Like, what's up, bud? What's wrong? Tell me, come here. With my arms open, me down at his level, the first thing that he did was he came to me, he hugged me back, and he cried into my shoulder for about 3 minutes. So at this point, I didn't raise my voice. I didn't even say a thing. And I was like, this cannot possibly be working, but it is. And here's a third thing that I did. After just letting him decompress a little bit, I empathized with him. Man, that blue block sucks. That blue block was a complete dick to the yellow block for not snapping in. I didn't actually say that, no. But I was just like, dude, that's hard, huh? I validated his feelings, his concerns, his anger. And that right there, as opposed to like, stop it, you shouldn't even play with that in the first place, just put it away, go do something else. As opposed to just like redirecting out of anger and instead just validating, that does so much more in teaching him and allowing him, giving him the space to be angry, to make mistakes, learning, about that feeling, processing that feeling, and then making the decision on his own to say like, that was hard. And then from there, he can either have me help him, guide him, or he can just go off and do another thing, which is exactly what he did. After about 2-3 minutes of him crying to my shoulder, of us just kind of talking like, that was hard, right? Yeah. Hey, do you want me to help you? Do you want me to keep trying? No, I'm gonna play with my Bluey toys. And that was it. So I want you guys to try. I know it's super hard because we've been working all day, we've been cooking, we've been cleaning, we've been doing all these things. But if you could try those 3 things, it works way better than you think. And it's so hard to keep a calm mind, but number 1, get on their level. 2, give them a warm embrace, or just give them a welcoming kind of like, what's wrong? Like, can I help you? As opposed to, let me solve it for you right now. And then the third thing is empathize with them and validate their feelings. I think those 3 things alone are gonna help you a lot more than you may realize. Tip number 3, mess is best. So I struggled with this one because I like order. I don't like a messy house. I need things put back into their place. But toddlers are the antithesis of that, okay? The biggest advice that I can give you though, and it's still something that I'm personally working on, is to embrace it. Embrace the mess. Stop apologizing for having a messy room or having a messy house because the reason is, it's actually healthy for kids to be messy, whether that's with food, with sensory tables, with toys, whatever. It's actually healthy for them. So looking at this from the Early Childhood Learning and Knowledge Center, which I have linked below, messy play harnesses children's spontaneous exploration to help them learn. Children develop curiosity, initiative, focus, and persistence through messy play. Messy play activities develop children's autonomy and provide safe environments in which to practice these crucial learning skills. Now, I'm not saying that every part of your house is gonna be a mess and you need to be okay with that because their development supersedes your need to have a clean home, okay? That's not where I'm going with it, but I think that one strategy that you might see in a bunch of Montessori blogs is the concept of creating a yes space, where you set like designated rooms or areas throughout your home where they can really play and explore uninhibited, with a lot more freedom, in a place that you're not saying no, in a place where they're open to make mistakes. You would not like for them to take these expensive organic love every blocks and use them as projectiles straight into drywall. I mean, so you've got like limits, but for the most part, it's yes to everything, in a place where they can really get messy and explore, because again, it's gonna help them developmentally. I'll leave it at that for now, but I'll have some links down below that go in depth on creating yes spaces if that's something that you're gonna be interested in. Tip number 4, you're allowed to not play with your kids. Now, there's a lot of guilt associated with leaving your kids alone to play. There seems to be this notion that we have to constantly be tending to our children, making sure that they're well taken care of at all times. And if we're not present and playing, we're neglecting our duties as a parent. And I want to tell you that that is far from the truth. In fact, being a constant source of entertainment and activity for your kids is actually not good for your toddler, because the reality is you're often too exhausted and too burned out to get down and keep playing with them, keep playing with your kid. But you are allowed to take time and chill or do things around the house guilt-free, right? While your kid plays by themselves, and it's healthy for them. There's a phrase that I heard a while back: boredom breeds creativity. That's what it was. It took me a second. Boredom breeds creativity. And I love that. Independent play is known to help kids become problem solvers, develop social independence, can help them thrive in school when the time comes, and encourage calmness and downtime. A lot of parents think it's all on them to guide play, and I'm here to tell you that it's not, okay? So do not feel guilty for saying, I just don't wanna play with them right now, and try to foster an environment where they can play by themselves. Now, actually achieving independent play is a whole big can of worms, a whole big topic that I can't break down in this video, but there are people like Busy Toddler or Jerica Sands who she's a little bit more on the extreme side, but she's still good. There's good things to take from there. Though those two, especially Busy Toddler, they are great starting resources for a detailed plan and strategy to getting kids to play independently. But on that note, speaking of Busy Toddler, she does give one really good advice, and that's if you ever see your kids playing independently, they're doing fine, resist the urge to say anything or disrupt their flow. How's it going? You doing okay? Can I get you anything to eat? Everything fine? You safe? Be careful. Like, doing anything like that is gonna disrupt them. It's gonna pull them away from active play and just kind of mess up the world that they created in their head. So let them play and go as long as they can. And over time, they're gonna be able to entertain themselves for longer stretches. Do not interrupt play. It's great for them. Tip number 5, create special rituals. Now, I'm sure you've heard the importance of creating a routine for your family ever since your kids were babies, because predictable routines, they help your kids and yourself know what you're all doing, when you're doing it, how often, right? Routines can impact sleep, they can impact behavior, they make children feel secure. There are many correlations between fostering regular routines with just having with good habits. For you dads out there, and really any parent who's watching this, right? I think it's really important to create some special rituals, I like to call them rituals, that disrupt the norm and make things really enjoyable for your kids, so everything doesn't feel so rigid and scheduled and segmented. And I personally think it's okay to have a little bit of a break from the rules, and some examples of rituals that we have in our home. So I know that screen time is evil, it's the worst thing in the world, but there are a good handful of weekends where my kids get a hand of the Nintendo Switch, we all turn on Mario Kart and we're going at it, we're playing Mario. And that's one really enjoyable thing that we get to do. Not often, and that's why it's a ritual. It doesn't happen super often, but when it does, it is so fun to do together as a family. Every Friday, we try to do Pizza Fridays and do a Disney movie, so that's a kind of a ritual that we like to engage with as a family. We haven't done it in a while, but we used to do rave nights where we would go up to our media room, we'd turn off the lights, I would go to Dollar Tree and I'd get these dollar glow stick things and put them on their wrists, all around their necklaces, and we would just play Kids Bop, play different music, and literally just rave in a dark room for a good hour, like a full 60 minutes. That was something really fun that broke the norm. I posted about rituals on my Instagram a while back just to try to get some ideas from you guys, some other people, and I got a lot of ideas from fishing Fridays after school to going on walks on certain evenings with their daughters. The great thing is that these are all positive outliers that your kids are gonna remember and enjoy. Those things, those special moments, those will stick with them. Now I will say, as my kids get older, there are gonna be days where they wake up ready for school and I'm gonna be like, we're not gonna go to school today. What are we doing? I don't know, we're gonna find something to do though, maybe Six Flags, I don't know. You wanna go shopping? Let's figure it out. So, I really do plan on implementing these special rituals, these moments that they can really enjoy unexpectedly, moving forward. I'm really excited to do that as a dad with my kiddos and really foster some of those memories. But as a toddler, you should try to get those things started right now as toddlers. What are those moments that you can insert? And yeah, they could be something as simple as popsicle baths. Those really are lasting memories. So those are my 5 tips for toddlers. If you have anything to add, please comment them down below. I want it to be an aggregate of great ideas for other parents who are out there. And if you don't mind, please smash that like button down there. It really helps this video and helps this channel a ton. For more videos for young families, please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel. Thank you for watching this video, guys, and come back for the next one. God bless. Later.